I've never been so glad that I use Keynote up until this week. Now, I've always preferred Keynote, but I would sometimes use PowerPoint. This week, though, well, I'm currently in Scottsdale, Arizona, recovering from COVID. I won't be able to travel home for a few more days. And I found out that I had COVID basically right after I got to the resort. I was supposed to speak at this conference 2 times. Rather than leaving holes in the program, I told them that I can get through the presentation if we find another way. And so we decided that we would do the whole thing on Zoom. But how was I going to do it? Am I going to have my screen, my face there with a little corner and have my slides up big? Am I going to try to interact with the slides? Well, in come live video in Keynote. So take a look at this. We will open up a Keynote presentation. I've actually just started a very simple, couple of slides just to give some idea of what it is that we can do. And you'll see here on the main slide, it's blank right now. What you do, very important, first of all, these keynotes need to be stored on the cloud. You can't do them from your computer. If you're storing them from your computer, it will not work. But have it on the cloud, and then come here to Media, Live Video. Okay, now you can see how it adds a live video screenshot right here. And look at this, I can resize this. So when I first meet people, I can have it right here. I can add text onto here if I wanted to. And, you can put whatever you want. We will make that bigger, of course. You can do all of your standard text tricks to it that you want to. You can change the font. You can change the color, the shadowing, all kinds of things. You can do whatever you want with it. Now, what's really cool is that not only do you get to have the camera here and you can interact with it, but you can put up other things. You can, if you click here on the live video, look at this. We can scale the image in and out, and you can change your mask so you can make it into some more interesting things if you want to. This is where it gets really cool, though. I'm going to take the image. I'll move this hello out of the way here. I'll take the image. I'm going to copy it. Command C. I'm going to go on to the next page, next slide, where I was talking about introversion. So I had the slide. I'm going to paste it on here. I'm going to resize this image. I'll put me over here. I can now animate this if I wanted to. I'll click on the little animate button, add an effect. We're going to, well, I just want to make an action, actually. I don't want to build it in. I'm going to move it, and it will move over. Oh, look at that. Coincidentally, it moves right into the next block. That it just happens to move the proper amount. I can then add another action. I'm going to move it again onto the next one, and add another action, move it again onto the next one. By the way, I could have also changed my shape here if I wanted to, but let's not bother with that. And the other really cool thing, let me go back to the first slide here. We're going to add a transition effect. Excuse me, add an effect. I'm going to make it a magic move. And because I copied from the first slide to the second, you can see how I'm actually going to track down onto that next slide. Now what you do, now this is the important part. Let me see if I can remember the proper way to do this. I'm going to start by launching Zoom, okay? So we will launch Zoom, and I'm just going to go into a regular meeting here, okay? So I'm in a Zoom meeting. I'm going to minimize my screen a little bit. I'm going to turn off my video. That's very important. Turn off your Zoom video. I'm now going to go to share screen. Share screen. I'm going to share my sound. I'm going to choose my full desktop here to share and then click on share. So now it's sharing out on Zoom this entire desktop. I'm going to go straight into Keynote. Then I hit play. Now the entire Keynote is being shared out on Zoom. I have my Zoom controls over here that no one else sees. When I'm on the Keynote slides and I click it, you can see how it starts to animate. I hit my space bar and it will go to the next spot and the next spot and the next spot. And this is a much more engaging way when you're speaking to a room of people and you're not there and you want them to see your slides, but you want them to see you. I think it worked pretty well. And I think that this is definitely a trick that I'm going to use again whenever I do any type of webinar or distance presentations.